My name is Katie Faust.
I'm Alexis Denisi.
And I'm Austin Anderson.
And we're sophomores at Dennis-Yarmouth Regional High School, and we went to Haiti a year ago to rebuild houses there. So we left February 13th, 2016, and flew from Boston to New York, and then from New York to Port-au-Prince, where we stayed. We went and we built houses in Pignon, Haiti. So day one, I think we were just like getting used to like
The
atmosphere and like the people who we were working with.
Yeah. They gave us simple jobs to do, like digging the foundation.
Doing the wires wrapping around the,
what are they called?
I don't know, they're like square things for houses. It was more like they wanted us to get used to the work that we had to do there. And then throughout like the week we were putting up the cement blocks and making the mortar and stuff like that. Oh yeah, who was your favorite, what was your favorite thing about the job sites that we were at?
Well, my favorite thing was that all the workers were nice and they showed us what to do. And when we got something wrong, they didn't get mad.
They just kind of helped us fix it.
Yeah.
No, pretty much.
I loved how the fact that all the people there, the community, even people who didn't have to come help us, kids that would come after school and help us build and sift through rocks and stuff to make sand and stuff like that. They were just also kind of wanted to help us because they wanted to contribute to their community too, that type of thing. We stayed in a hostel. A hostel is a group, kind of not a home, but it's a hotel where we were upstairs. Yeah, a guest house. And we were upstairs, and the four of us that went from DY stayed in a room together on mattresses, and we had sheets and everything. We had access to showers, bathrooms, and food.
Probably my favorite experience at the job site would probably be probably hiking.
Hiking up the mountain.
Up the mountain.
Where we could see the whole
and you
thing.
see whole Pignon and all the community.
My favorite thing out of the job site was when we got to hang out with all the little kids.
Yeah.
And we brought the
so
frisbees
cute.
out, got to throw them around.
Play soccer.
I think I loved just when we came back from the job site and we would all just kind of hang out together downstairs and in the courtyard type thing, and we would all eat and have snacks and we would play games. What was the moments that made us stop and think about because when we went over, we were 14 years old. Well, I was 14, some of them were 15. He was 14. So we were 14, 15, and I think we got kind of a lot of backlash of when we first were talking about it. They're do you even understand what's going on over there? You guys are freshmen in high school. Do you know how kind of dangerous it is?
Yeah.
It was just not taboo, but it was weird that kids our age were going over to a country that didn't have resources like we had.
We got a lot of publicity, whatever it's called.
Yeah, it was good and bad, I think, the publicity that we got, because it was glorifying us and kind of glorifying
us as going
as
there. But
oh my god, these freshmen are going there, look how great they are, when our main purpose was to help Haiti.
And they didn't include that.
No. But then it also kind of brought attention to hey, no matter your age, you can always.
It also shows that especially being in Yarmouth, there's a lot of kids get into bad things, and it kind of just proves that kids our age can do something like this, and not the financial doesn't hold us back, because look at us, we
raised money.
We hardly paid for the trip.
I think we only paid for the plane tickets because we went out. I remember we were out when it was snowing, and we were standing outside of Shaw's with posters, and people were either extremely nice to us or they were giving us lectures on why that country is so bad. The experiences that made us stop though and think about just where America is and where our own community is compared to them is I think for me was when they didn't have like electricity. They only had electricity for like 4 hours. And they would just all like hang out together like constantly, and they would play games with each other, and they would just like kind of enjoy the moment instead of being like constantly on like a computer, constantly on like watching TV, constantly on your phones. That like half the time I'm like glued to my phone, but like when I was there, it was like I was leaving my phone at where we were staying, and like I didn't care if it was on me or not. I didn't really use it instead of like taking pictures and stuff like that.
Well, I think the thing that really like was surprising to me was how close the community was to each other. Like here, just at DY in general, no one knows anyone. I mean, like
We know who we are, but not like
yeah, no one personally knows anyone.
yeah.
But over there, everyone in the town knows everyone's story, everyone's family.
And it was shown through the funerals, I think especially. That when we were there were 2 funerals, and it was anyone who was even remotely talked to them, and they would walk down the main road with instruments and like the family in the front, and then like all the friends, and then like anybody who wanted to join. It was so like open and welcoming, like when people, I don't know, had the sense of like
I think the hardest part was going to the hospital personally. Just seeing what they have, and it's hardly anything, and you know, just seeing the kids in the hospital, and you know,
due to like the water poisoning, and
it's not private. It's
they're all
the
out
beds
in
are in the hallways. It's nothing's private, and just walking in there, you feel so bad, but at the same time, like
you want to raise awareness so like so they can get the help they need. I think the thing that they were struggling with most in the hospital was the new babies, or the little children weren't getting enough water, like clean, purified water, that they were getting sick easily from all the dirty water that they had. And so I think like even though it was hard for us, like now that we've seen it, we can like help send water and like do all this stuff to go help them.
I mean, at the end of the trip, I think we left just about all our stuff there. I remember we went, my bag was like 50 pounds, and on the way back home, it was like maybe 20 pounds. We left like a lot of things.
I also think like another thing that we like, kind of going back to like the connection of the community that we saw there, was like they were so welcoming to us, thinking that like, not that people have like abused them, but it's kind of like people have been like, we're going to Haiti, and they haven't done anything, and they were explaining that to us, that they were like, for example, like the Kennedy thing that they built down there, there's nothing there. We drove past it, and it's just gated off of their land.
A lot of countries shut them out, like they don't even exist.
Yeah.
I mean, look how many people here in America, when we told them we're going, they were so against it, and you know,
they were just like kind of like, build up your community here, when compared to them, we're already built up. Even though like, yeah, we have our problems, but like
we're set in stone. It's not,
we're not going through anything that could potentially harm us.
And I think people say they want the community to get involved, but I personally think we did get the community involved. We fundraised, we did presentations, we went to the schools, we went to the Rotary Club.
We did presentations at like younger schools, so they could see like, when you get there, you can do this too.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people got us confused, thinking that we were a club in school, like, but we were all individual before this. None of us, we were friends, but we weren't this close. And then all of a sudden we came together and formed this group. Just kind of shows what 4 high school students can achieve.
Yeah. How we changed though over the span of just 1 week was that our other teammates or like team members were all older. They were all not past their lives, but they were in maybe middle-aged type people, and they like not only saw like physical differences, like especially for like you, they were like, oh, he came in as a scrawny little boy and he left as a man. Like that's what they said, because he kind of bulked up through the experience. Yeah. because they were putting him to work. They were like, that one, we're going to make him strong, and he was doing work with the Masons. But I think they said, like, emotionally, like, we became more of, like, a stop, like, look around, take it all in, instead of being, like...
Emotionally, we became stronger as a person.
Became more understanding, I think, of other people's situations, and, like...
Yeah, and we learn not to take things for granted, because...
we took cold showers through that whole week. And we got back, and my mom was like, you can take a nice hot shower. And I was like, I don't want to. Like,
I want to take a cold shower.
And electricity, I think, like, one of the things you were sitting next to me on the plane into Boston, New York-ish area. And, like, he'll tell you, I just cried seeing, like, flying over New York, seeing all the lights on. The people we met there, our affiliates, Junior and Gerald. Junior was somehow related to Gerald, or a student of Gerald's previously. And so, because Gerald was a principal at the college, which is just their private school, which we actually got to go to. And they were so nice. They all spoke fluent in English. Most of the people we were with, they spoke fluent in English. And we had a group circle every single morning of our team members and then some of the people that we met there. So, like, we met a kid that just graduated high school named Tony. We met a kid that was in high school named Rinson. Junior, Gerald, like, we had a kid named KK.
I mean, and then
JJ.
There was that kid who we paid for to go to school again.
We did pay because his family was running out of money to get him to go to the best school, which was our affiliate school. And so we gave him around, I think the four of us put in $200 all together of American money, which is
a lot.
around $600, like, good in there. But like, as I was saying, like, the circle, it was like one of us would share something that we were feeling that day, and we would all talk about it, and they kind of just, like, understood, like, if one of us said, like, hey, I'm a little nervous about this, like, I don't know what they're saying, and I'm a little nervous about this, they kind of, like, would stand next to us, and they would explain the process of things. Like, walking down the street, people would not yell things at us, they'd kind of be like, look at those people, and we would feel like, oh my gosh, like, are they, like, talking about us, stuff like that. And they would just explain, like, that some people have never seen art colored.
Yeah, I think that was the hardest part too.
Feeling out of place.
You feel the center of attention, and that was super hard, but you know, we made a lot of friends on the trip. We still talk to many of the people from that trip.
I think it was just, like, a trip overall to, like, mature us. I feel like when we went over there, we weren't that mature. We were still in, like, this, like, my own little world kind of thing. We went over and we just grew up.
The results coming back, I remember the day I got home, I think I went through everything in my closet, and I donated so much stuff. I remember not really using phone or electricity in general, and just
I would start shutting off my lights.
You had to take, when you got back, you had to take a moment to really realize what you have.
We didn't go to school for, like, 3 days after we got back, even though it was after our vacation.
Yeah, we didn't go to school.
We didn't go to school because we were just absorbing everything.
I mean, when you go from, you know, living in a place for a week that has literally nothing, and then coming home and you have everything. And just going to school and looking around and seeing how much, like, we have, like, we go to school for free, we don't have to pay for this stuff, and they do, and it was just
we
it was
get
hard
given
to come here and to face our reality.
That we have easy like, access to any jobs, like, whether you work in, like, a fast food, like, there is a job out there for you to get, where it was hard for them to find a job. There was maybe, like, 3 companies in Pignon, and they said it was extremely hard to get a job. And then to go like to a public school, they had public school, but it also had a fee. Our trip prepared us for multiple things, opened up new opportunities, and made us want to go on more trips like this.
It set a path for life.
Yeah, and
Just-
we made friends for life.
Yeah.
We're never going to forget this experience.